Did you recently get a job in Ireland and you're wondering what are the things that you need to know before you move into the country? Or did you recently get admitted into one of the universities here in Ireland and you're wondering what the country looks like or what are the things that you'll be expecting and not expecting? Or maybe you don't need a visa to work in Ireland. You need to know one or two things first before you make the decision. In this video, I'm going to explain 5 things that you might need to consider or you might need to know before you start coming to Ireland. Hi everyone, this is Ademola Kazim once again. Today I'm just going to talk a little bit about Ireland. So recently, after I started this YouTube channel, people actually reached out to me asking me questions about especially some of the people who just got a job in Ireland and they are trying to move to Ireland, and they were asking me for tips. So I literally have to be telling people individually different stuff that they would love to know before they pack their bag and baggage. I'm just going to divide them into like different categories. So I'm going to start from career. Dublin has been ranked as the European third best tech city of the future, behind London and Paris, by Financial Times FDI's intelligence. What they basically do is that they rank cities based on how innovative they are, how conducive are they for investment, startups, innovations, and some other criteria that's being used to determine whether a city is going to be better in the future for doing business, basically. So that's number one. So also, Ireland has low corporate tax. What they did basically is to reduce the amount of taxes that corporations have to pay. So this in turn make individuals to be wanting to come to the country to come and work. So there are a lot of immigrants coming into the country who basically came here because of the fact that Ireland hosts the European headquarters of most of the big tech companies. So you are in the right place because there are a lot of competitions, there are a lot of jobs. A lot of people literally get messages in their DMs about new jobs, new opportunities. So also, if you are thinking of starting a new company, like you are a startup company, Ireland basically creates a part of government called Enterprise Ireland that are in charge of funding startup companies, and they look at your ideas, they look at what you built, and then they are able to fund your project. Another thing is, as students, if you want to move into Ireland because you're a student, there are a lot of work for students, although you're going to have to work for 20 hours a week during the session. Off session, you're allowed to work 40 hours a week. Another thing that I personally love about Ireland is the serenity. You don't want anyone disturbing you, or you want to read your books, you want serenity, you don't want people shouting everywhere. This is a place to be. So next thing, I'm going to move into the city. The first thing I'm going to mention is the fact that people are very nice. When I first came into the country, anytime I'm on the road, I see if I meet someone, especially maybe ladies for instance, and then people just smile, I thought, oh, maybe this lady likes me, but it turns out that no, that's how the people in Ireland do. They usually recognize that you're passing them by and they smile back at you. And the next thing that I'm going to move to is the fact that there is less crime. This is contentious because some people believe there are crimes, but a lot of people are actually honest. The next thing that I'm going to mention is Gardaí. They are the police department of the government. When I got into Ireland for the first time, I saw police who don't carry guns or who don't harass people. Like a lot of places that I've been, it's either police is shouting on you or this, and these people are very, very professional. Even if you did something wrong, they're still gonna treat you like normal human being. And like for instance, if you're stopped by police, they are very respectful, and people in turn are respectful to them too, except for the special squads who carry guns, or like they do, like they're dealing with special things. Apart from those, the regular Gardaí, they don't carry guns because most of the times your life is not under immediate danger. But maybe that's contentious too. One of the things that I noticed again is The country is very green. Everywhere there's tree, there is grass, like everything is being maintained. It's really, really beautiful country. It's a very small country, but it's really beautiful. Like anyone that comes around will really enjoy it. It's beautiful. Another thing I found out was that whenever you are in a bus and then you come down from the bus, you kind of like tell the drivers of the buses, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody is very grateful to one another. Like, people are very respectful. The drivers say thank you for taking their buses. You tell them thank you for taking you home safely. Like, everybody is really, really nice. So another thing that I need to mention about the city is the fact that there is scarcity of housing in Ireland, especially in Dublin, because there are so many people coming in and then there are less buildings. But I think recently the government has come out to say that they're going to be building 3,000 houses every year, something like that. I read it in the news. So it's going to increase the number of houses, and then I'm sure the housing crisis is going to reduce because and if you are coming in for the first time, you might want to look for a way. Maybe you get an Airbnb or something, or you get an hotel for the meantime, or if you could have secured somewhere before you come, because it's a little bit hard to get a house. But unfortunately, I think these days, because of the pandemic, there are less movement from houses to houses. So the next category is the government. The government tries as much as possible to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, unlike a lot of other countries where the gap between the rich and the poor is very, very wide. It's either you are extremely rich or you are extremely poor. Here, you might not be extremely rich and then you can be extremely poor. So if for some reasons you don't have a job, the government pays you allowances for until you get a new job. If you have a family, they help you and your family to get a house where you stay so that you don't become homeless. Like, the government is really, really considerate, and which is a great thing. One of the examples of this is the pandemic unemployment allowance. Ireland is probably one of the only, if not the only, countries in the world that does that pay people like a huge sum of money if you lose your job due to pandemic. So the pandemic unemployment allowance is the payment made to people who lost their job due to COVID-19 pandemic. So the next thing that I'm going to mention is the family. To be honest, Ireland is one of the best places to raise children. There are less miscreants. People are, like I said, people are extremely nice. People teach their children to be nice. Everybody is respectful of one another. Like, people are friendly. Everyone is friendly to one another regardless of where you come from or what you do or who you are. Like, your dreams are valid. Like, you could do anything. You could be a good kid. So basically, for me, I believe that Ireland is one of the best places in the world to raise children. For me, I believe that that's a reflection of having been brought up by good parents, or having been brought up by with good values on how to treat people, how to treat other people. The last one, but not the least, that I'm going to mention is the weather. This is kind of like contentious too, because Ireland is only one of the only places in the world where you can have all the seasons in one day. You can have autumn, spring, winter, summer in one day. You could be getting into a house now and then it's sunny. By the time you come out, it's actually drizzling. So you might want to put that into consideration before you move. But overall, I think Ireland for me has been a good place to live. It has been my home for the last 6-7 years, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and then I hope that at the end of the day, you too, when you get into the country, you're gonna love it.